This is part 2 of our How to Ski series on weareupnorth.com, and we're out on the lake today. It's not perfect out, and the nice thing about going water skiing is that you're going to get wet anyways. So even if the day isn't perfect, you can get out there. As long as it's calm, you're in good shape. So this is a mild chop. It's not perfect. There's a little bit of a breeze, but it's still good enough to go skiing, and it's definitely good enough to learn how to ski, which is what we're trying to do. This is going to be our fake skier to illustrate how we drive the boat. That's what we're going to learn right now. So the first thing we do is turn the boat off, and then we attach our rope to the back of the boat. Before you throw the rope in, make sure that you've attached it onto the back. Okay, to attach the rope handle, take the loop underneath. There is a little knob in the back, flip that over, and it'll hold nice and tight. Okay, now that we have the rope tied onto the back of the boat, we're ready to throw it out into the water. Try to get it untangled, and if you've tied it up correctly, it'll just unravel as you throw the handle out. Okay, so now we have a rope in the water. That's when our skier jumps in. We toss the skier in, and then at this point, you can hand them the ski or wakeboard, or if they've taken it in themselves, then they've already got it. But otherwise, this is when you would toss it into them. Okay, now the skier's in the water. They're clear of the back of the boat so that we don't catch them in the propeller. It's safe to turn the boat on. Make sure that they're clear. Make sure the rope is clear, that the rope isn't caught up or sinking under the propeller. There's my skier. He's holding on to the rope at this point and clear of the boat. So now I can put it in gear. The skier's clear. I'm going to put the boat in gear. And I'm going to put it back in neutral. The boat will start moving and it'll continue moving even though it's not in gear. And I'm going to let the person get to the end of the rope and hang on. So we're going to say 1, 2, 3 and then go. And while this might seem a little elementary, this makes it a lot easier to get a new skier out of the water. You have to look back and see when they're prepared, when they're tilting one side or the other. You want to see when they start to calm down and feel like they're balanced. You're going to wait for that to happen, and then you're going to say 1, 2, 3. And when you say 3, you put it in gear and go. Okay, our skier fell down. I can't believe it. We're going to turn around and get our skier. When we turn around, you don't just stop in a hurry. You pull it back slowly to stop. You don't want to just crank your throttle back. Everyone in the boat's going to fall forward. So you come around. So we're going fast, They fall. Pull it down slowly. And now we look behind us, see where they are. Okay, so now I'm going to come back to the skier who's going to be on the right side of the boat. You always keep the skier on the right side so that you can see the person as you pull up next to them. Pulling up on our skier, we're going to keep the skier about 5 feet from the boat. Say, hey, how'd it go? You feeling good? Just relax. Don't swim too hard. Let the rope come to you. Save your energy. All right, it's coming up behind you. See it? Good. I'm going to keep putting the boat into neutral so that I'm not going too fast. You see I'm still moving forward, the rope's still coming around, and eventually the handle comes up right next to the person. They don't need to waste any energy swimming, and they're right behind the boat. So when the skier is actually skiing, they should be communicating with the spotter, the other person in the boat, with yes, I want to go faster, slow down, go faster just a little bit, and then they are able to tell the driver how fast the person wants to go. If you want to turn around as a skier, you've gotten to the end of a curve or you see a boat coming, signal this way, and that will tell the driver to turn around. And the driver, you don't want to look back, which is something people like to do, because you're actually going that way. Your responsibility is making sure that everything in front of you is taken care of. Okay, we have our skier behind us, we're ready to go, and then as we're going, I'm going to call out the RPMs and miles per hour so that you can see how the wake is affected by the speed. Okay, so we're going to say 1, 2, 3. See our wake's forming. We're going about 10 miles an hour, but we're at 3,000 RPM. pull it back. We're now at 25 miles an hour and 27 RPM. This is a pretty good speed for a more talented wakeboarder or skier. We're going to slow it down, and now we're going to start to get a better wake for wakeboarding. Now we're going about 22 miles an hour, and we're going 2,200 RPMs. Now, you're rarely going to go over 25 miles an hour, and that would be for a good skier. If you're wakeboarding, you're going to be starting at around 15 miles an hour on the slow side, and maybe up to about 20 miles an hour for most people. With a young kid, a small kid, maybe 4 years old, you probably don't need to go much faster than 10 or 15 miles an hour. I'm going about 17 miles an hour. And there's a decent wake for wakeboarding right there. Not great for water skiing. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to increase the trim. I'm going to put the trim up. Now, put the trim up to about a quarter, and we get a much bigger wake. The boat starts to rock a little bit, but this is a lot more enjoyable as a wakeboarder. Put it down to about an 8, the boat levels out, and we still have a nice curve to our wake. So we have our RPMs on one side, and we have our miles per hour over here. Miles per hour are great, but you don't always know how fast the boat is going to end up. So you want to look at the RPMs first. And generally on most boats, inboard, outboard, you're going to be looking at about 2,500 RPM, so between the 2 and the 3. And then you'll see once the boat has planed out how fast you're going at that RPM. So you might be going 3,000 RPMs at the start and then end up going 30 or 32 miles an hour. That's not what you want to do. So you'd rather go 2,500 RPMs, wait for the boat to plane out, which might be at 22 or 23 miles an hour. A couple of good tips. As the driver of the boat, you need to know how fast you're going to go, and you also do want to see behind you, so we use mirrors. And this is just a small mirror that you might already have for watching kids in the back seat, and all you need to see is that the skier is up. You don't need to be watching exactly what he's doing. So this lets you know, yeah, the person is behind me and they're still up. Now we're coming back, our skier is done, they're finished trying or going. They're going to usually take their ski off or signal, cut that I'm done. We're going to pull up next to them, stop well in advance so that as we come up to them, we're going very slow. They're on our right side like before, and then we just turn the motor off and slide right next to them. And then they'll take off their gear. Maybe they'll pass a ski to the boat. We'll pull the ski in, dump the water out first, and then pull the ski into the boat, and then they'll climb in on the back. Last thing we do is pull the rope in, and the best way to bring a rope in is grab one end in your hand and then just start bringing it in around the corner. As you're bringing it in, if you twist it just a little bit, it will fight that urge for it to turn itself up. So if you twist in a, that would be to your right, I guess. Twist to your right on each pull, it'll straighten your rope out more, and it shouldn't tangle up. Finish, and then tie it off by wrapping the end of the handle around a few times, and you're good to go.